Dhalsim allows for so much freedom and expression in Street Fighter that can be daunting for new players learning him. That's why today I'll be giving you 5 tips that will assist your Dhalsim gameplay, whether you're a newcomer or have experience with the character. Without further ado, let's get started so you can take your sim to the next level. The first priority when learning Dhalsim is to get acquainted with his normals. Many of his normal attacks cover specific ranges on the screen, so it's important to keep a mental note of which move is appropriate for the situation. As a guideline, if they're near full screen, then your heavy attacks will reach, your mediums are suited for the mid-range, and your light attacks are useful up close as they're the quickest attacks and can push the opponent back to Sim's ideal range. Keeping all of his moves in mind will be difficult at first, but will become more natural the more you play the character. One skill you absolutely must learn as Dhalsim is the ability to anti-air, so let's quickly go over his grounded anti-airs and when you use them. Back medium punch will be your most used anti-air, as it's a consistent answer versus those who jump fairly close to you. Cancel into yoga fire or flame afterwards to chip away at your drive gauge. Back heavy punch is used when the opponent jumps from further away. It's slower than back medium punch but grants a huge reward on counter hit with drive rush. Up close, your normal anti-airs will whiff, so instead we have to use crouch light kick to slide under their jump in. While you won't get a punish, you will at least slip away from the opponent to continue zoning. Back heavy kick covers the same range as back medium punch, but has a smaller hurt box, making it useful versus problematic moves such as Honda's sumo smash or Marissa's phalanx. Lastly, you have stand heavy kick, which is his furthest reaching and slowest anti-air. This is mostly used if you try to avoid your fireballs full screen. To anti-air, you must preemptively anticipate the jump by looking at the airspace, which means you must pick and choose what areas to focus on the screen at a given time. The key word here is anticipation. Normally in Street Fighter, you're only allowed to have one fireball on the screen at a time. Attempting to shoot another projectile will only result in a whiff button. Dhalsim, however, is the exception, as he can have a Yoga Fire or Arch and a Yoga Comet out simultaneously. Having both fireballs out controls a ton of space on the screen, walling out your opponent. One tactic versus fireball characters as Dhalsim is to shoot a light comet as cover, charge a grounded Yoga Fire, then drive rush stand heavy punch to punish your opponent drawing more plasma, using the Yoga Fire as protection. The awesome thing about Dhalsim is that you can play him in many different styles and adjust your gameplay on the fly mid-match. Limiting the options you're presenting in neutral will make you predictable, so do not let the opponent get comfortable with one particular style. Your zoning can easily transition into offense from teleporting with a fireball, or by capitalizing off of an anti-air and going in. Whatever style you choose will depend on you as a player, your opponent, and the matchup. Check out my previous Street Fighter 6 guide on how to play Rushdown Dhalsim to level up your aggression. Dhalsim's float is one of the most diverse moves in his toolkit with a plethora of possibilities, so let's go over a few applications. While floating, you have access to all of your jumping normals. Jump medium punch and jump heavy kick are strong anti-airs. Jump medium kick is good for pestering the opponent on the ground. Jump heavy punch is your strongest air to ground button. And your jump lights are useful for quickly descending out of float. Versus other characters with strong zoning, you can use float to go over their obstacle course and close the gap. After an EX Comet or Jump Medium Punch, you're able to cancel into float if you haven't used it already. One of my favorite tactics is to shoot an EX Comet, float, then anti-air with Jump Medium Punch into teleport for a left-right mix-up.
Oh my goodness!
Friends to level 1!
Float is a very flexible move, so experiment and see what works for you. Thank you for watching another Dhalsim guide. You guys have been really supportive on the video so far and I'm very grateful. I plan to continue making these as learning content, so let me know in the comments what topics about Dhalsim you wish to hear. Until then, I'll see you all later.